Here's to liberty, my wife declared, lifting her glass upward. I'm walking away from you, toward someone younger, someone who truly stirs me. The sharp ring of crystal, the burst of smiles. My sons, Jason and Drew, began to applaud. Not hesitantly, not from surprise, but sincerely, joyfully, as though this were a television plot twist they'd anticipated and fully endorsed. I gazed at the three of them. My wife, still elegant in her dinner dress. Jason sporting that arrogant half-grin he always flashed when he believed he outsmarted me. Drew's eyes brimming with entertainment, treating the whole scene like a punchline. Hello, my name is Elliot Granger. Today marks my 51st birthday. I am the one who financed this home, who devoted my entire existence to a family that never paused to check if I was still breathing. The individual they just applauded out of his own union, like a polite ovation at the curtain fall of a tragic performance. I placed my fork aside, took a deliberate sip of wine. Then I offered a smile, soft, yet icy. Enjoy your happiness, boys, I remarked. But understand this one truth. The room grew still. I am not your birth father. I brought you both home from an orphanage out of compassion. Their hands halted in mid-clap. And today, that compassion has ended. Jason's fork slipped from his grasp. It struck the plate with a clang that resonated far too loudly. Drew stared blankly, as if his mind refused to process the words. What exactly are you saying? He asked, nearly chuckling. You're joking, right? Jason demanded sharply. You brought us up. You. I provided your clothes, your meals, your very names. I cut in, my tone even and controlled. That doesn't entitle you to my entire being. Amanda, my wife, finally spoke up. This has to be a prank. Elliot, take your seat. You're not destroying the boys' world over something like this. You've already accomplished that, I replied, glancing at her before returning my focus to them. All that I provided rested on faith, and you cheered when she shattered it. Their expressions crumpled, yet I continued. I took you in when you were 6 and 4. You'd been left behind. Jason, you barely formed complete thoughts. Drew, you wept every single night for your birth mother, for half a year straight. I was the one who remained. Amanda's complexion turned ashen. I concealed that reality to shield your dignity. But you aligned yourselves with disloyalty. You've now deserved the reality. Drew dropped his gaze to his plate. Jason's knuckles whitened. Amanda rose. You're fabricating this. I moved toward the corridor. Care to examine the documents? I returned to the dining area carrying a slim, aged folder. No theatrics. No haste. Merely documents. I set it in the middle of the table and pushed it their way. Adoption records. Official seals. Timestamps. Original names struck through and substituted with my own. Jason seized it first. His fingers trembled as he scanned the sheets rapidly, as though speed could erase the facts. This can't be genuine, he mumbled. It must be forged. Drew peered across his shoulder. The color vanished from his face. It's authentic, he breathed. Those are our names. Amanda darted forward. That's sufficient, she yelled. You're inflicting this to wound us. You're furious, Elliot, but this is heartless. No, I responded softly. Heartless was instructing them to mock the person who cherished them when he was demeaned. I regarded my sons, or rather, the young men I'd nurtured. I never once pointed out that you were selected. I permitted you to feel I was fortunate to have you. Jason's tone fractured. So what's next? You simply cease being our father? I held his gaze. I ceased the moment you applauded. Amanda remained rigid, though far from mute. Her words sliced across the space like shards. You believe this grants you strength? By shaming us. You call this fairness? I pivoted gradually. No, this isn't fairness. It's truthfulness. The sort you withheld from me. She scanned the room, seeking allies. Yet Jason and Drew ignored her. They fixed their eyes on me as though encountering me anew, and themselves as well. You brought us up, Jason murmured, scarcely audible. You covered every expense. You organized their birthdays, their games. And none of it held value, I stated. The instant your mother deemed me expendable, you never hesitated. I was merely the provider bankrolling your existence. Amanda advanced. They were only mirroring me. Don't make them suffer for my choice. You're correct, I answered evenly. They mirrored you. Therefore, I won't make them suffer. I approached the wall vault, entered the combination, and withdrew a thicker envelope. Amanda's gaze flicked nervously between me and it. But I also refused to support unknowns. I passed it to my attorney, who had remained quiet nearby, initiate the proceedings. My lawyer, Eleanor, rose and methodically arranged the paperwork bundle. Amanda's expression collapsed. What proceedings? I held back my reply briefly. I desired her to dwell in the hush, the identical hush she'd imposed on me this birthday. Eleanor answered for me. The reassignment of complete title to jointly held properties. Mr. Granger instructed me to finalize it all weeks earlier, in anticipation of today's outcome. Amanda's mouth fell open, shocked. Hold on, what properties? I addressed the boys. The residence, the cars, the portfolios. Every item I ever placed under both names. Every cent originated from me. She added nothing. Yet I included her name out of consideration. And for the boys, Amanda retorted sharply. You nurtured them. You claimed they were your sons. They were, until they applauded as you attempted to dismantle me. Jason blinked. You're severing us completely? I offered no reply. I simply distributed a separate envelope to each. Each contained a message. And an option. Read them after I've departed. Amanda moved closer, her voice trembling. You'll come to rue this. I met her with the most serene expression I'd ever mustered. No, my only regret is remaining silent for 26 years. Then I departed. I never re-entered the primary residence. There was no purpose. Instead, I drove 3 hours to a secluded place in Vermont. A property acquired long ago, kept secret from everyone. It offered tranquility. Why? Upon arrival, the notifications flooded in. Jason, Dad, please reach out. Drew, we opened your messages. Please don't abandon us. Amanda sent nothing directly. Instead, she published online a polished piece about controlling spouses and silent neglect. I ignored it. Why feed flames what they hunger for? Eleanor phoned. They've attempted to halt the property shifts. But you're clever. It's ironclad. Amanda transferred everything 5 years back during those post-operation forms. Recall? I recall, I said. She skimmed nothing. Now she'll study each clause. I poured a glass and stepped onto the porch, observing the sun sink behind frost-laden pines. Jason texted once more. You were always a better father than we ever earned. I'm truly sorry. That struck deeper, not from craving the regret, but because he finally used father instead of dad. It marked his first genuine statement. 3 weeks elapsed. Amanda pursued every avenue, attorneys, warnings, even press attention. Yet the narrative failed to ignite as she intended. Apparently, when the wronged party stays composed and restrained, the crowd tunes out the fury. Jason and Drew appeared at my Vermont retreat. Without warning, I opened the door. They stood there. No coats, only remorse in their stares. May we speak? Jason inquired. I allowed them entry. We remained quiet for an extended period, the fireplace snapping softly. We read your notes, Drew explained. You detailed each of us. The moments you supported us when Mom was unaware. Jason continued. It wasn't merely adoption. You battled for us, and we overlooked it. I inclined my head gradually. You didn't overlook. You selected ease. Jason raised no defense. He simply stated, we're prepared to reconstruct, but we'll respect your conditions now. I rose, approached the vault, withdrew 2 more envelopes. What are those? Drew wondered. Trust arrangements, I answered. Not cash. Decisions. You may review them, or destroy them. They waited, not grabbing immediately. They glanced at me, seeking consent. That confirmed their transformation. So I passed them over. They departed silently once finished. No pleading. No vows. Merely Jason saying, we'll become better individuals. Whether or not you witness it. That sufficed for me. Amanda, meanwhile, lodged one final lawsuit, an emotional distress filing. But Eleanor rebutted with documentation, logs, and a signed admission Amanda penned years prior during counseling exercises. She'd forgotten I retained it. The judge dismissed her claim in days. I held no victory celebration. I simply took a stroll. The woods encircling my retreat were serene yet alive. Birdsong, breezes, faint echoes of existence persisting. Details I'd missed while prioritizing another's ease. Later, I opened an old photo collection. The beginning times, Amanda beaming, the boys grinning, me embracing all 3 like someone who discovered real meaning. I harbored no bitterness toward those recollections. I simply no longer resided within them. A note from Jason arrived the following week. We're both employed now. Beginning at the bottom. Expecting nothing. Just thought you'd like to hear. I smiled. Compassion had departed, but something finer remained.